I'm going completely crazy and I am completely losing my mind. And this seems to be a combination of my mental illness and the fact that the radiation is designed to drive me absolutely crackers. Indeed, I keep every day slipping back into this GRU psychosis, this Russian military intelligence psycho mode, which is causing me a lot of distress. Indeed, I keep slipping into Russian mode, which is very interesting indeed. I believe that some network has influence over my brain. Indeed, it seems that the British intelligence services have completely hacked me via remote neural monitoring and the brain computer interface and are interfering with my thoughts on a very large scale. Indeed, it's all very disconcerting. Indeed, this remote brain hacking is very complex technology and is operated by British intelligence operatives that are apparently operating out of a black site in Swindon, which is all very interesting, though the actual radiation seems to be emanating from devices. So it's all very interesting indeed. The actual remote brain hacking going on is a British intelligence operation, whereas the radiating of me is a British police operation coordinated by Emma Ferris of Sheep Street in devices. Indeed, I believe she has some sort of device that is basically engaged in this psychotronic torture of me. So at the moment, during the daytime, I'm all right until about 8 a.m. But after 8 a.m., I can no longer spend time in my room because of the psychotronic radiation beams that are attacking me. So through satellite technology and the Wi-Fi system in the house, it seems that my bedroom in my lodgings has been set up like a microwave oven. So I'm basically getting fried by these beams the whole time between the hours of 8 a.m. until I go to sleep in the night time. So it's almost impossible to spend time in my room. And so I wander out into the street where everybody is gaslighting me and I have to put up with horrible looks from the residents of Warminster who seem to think I'm spying on them, which is very interesting to consider indeed. The fact that I sit there playing with my beard and talking to myself, I'd have thought anywhere else that that would signal that this guy is severely mentally unwell. However, the population of Warminster seem to think I'm spying on them. I'm not. This is the thing. I'm just trying to get through life. I'm a mentally ill conspiracy theorist. That's all I am. Indeed, I was once a respected conspiracy theorist. Now I'm just considered a crank. This is the most interesting thing about it, but I'm quite content being the crank's conspiracy theorist. Indeed, my brain is really difficult to maintain. Indeed, that I feel very insecure a lot of the time because the British intelligence services and the Russian intelligence services most probably are putting things into my brain. They are beaming information at me. And this is kind of information I could do without because I'm trying to concentrate on my projects and attempt to theorize on things. But I keep going in funny directions because basically the intelligence services are tricking me. The British intelligence services are tricking me, and the Russian intelligence services are tricking me. Indeed, I'm a long-term amnesia patient. I've been electroshocked, and I also suffer from severe paranoid schizophrenia and psychosis. So, naturally, I have become an experiment for the intelligence services. Indeed, both the British intelligence services and the Russian intelligence services seem to be experimenting on me. So, I have the British intelligence services putting basically souls into my brain, pretending to be the Russian intelligence services, which is very interesting. But the Russian intelligence services are also hacking my brain too. So it's all very interesting to consider. I also seem to have annoyed many mafias over the years. So all these mafias are probably targeting me also. So basically, I got myself caught up in international politics that weren't really my business many times. And I think various nations' intelligence services have a severe problem with me, which is all very interesting to consider. Indeed, I didn't really mean to get caught up in these international conflicts. They found me. Indeed, it's all very interesting to note that all of these videos that I post are watched by British intelligence and Russian intelligence. So everything seems to be coming down to the current conflict between the British intelligence services and the Russian intelligence services. Indeed, as I've stated before, I do believe that vast percentages of the Russian intelligence services are coordinated by the Crown, but not all of them. Indeed, so there are networks of Russian intelligence which are outside Crown authority. However, these networks hate me as well. So it's all very interesting to consider. There are genuine conflicts going on between Britain and Russia. Indeed, as I stated before, I do not believe that militarily Russia is capable of fighting the United Kingdom. So anything that takes place will be a hybrid intelligence war. And the Russian intelligence services outside of the Crown jurisdiction can do a lot of damage to the infrastructure of the United Kingdom. And they will utilize various Faith of Ishmael networks and criminal networks to achieve this. Indeed, I'm half expecting to be tricked by Russian intelligence operatives in the future. Indeed, British intelligence and Russian intelligence seem to be tricking me and beaming information into my brain. However, I believe this information may be of shady origin. So I'm not entirely sure what to trust. What's interesting about information of shady origin is that there is usually a grain of truth in information of shady origin. And the intelligence services know I am able to basically nitpick through information and figure out decent conclusions from it. So they may be shooting themselves in the foot by supplying me with shady information because I can work out what I need to work out through what they're beaming at me. So it's all very interesting to think that I'm an amnesia patient and I forget a lot of things. But when it comes to my unifying conspiracy theory, I tend to be able to analyze everything and basically place it within the unifying conspiracy theory. And it's interesting to note that all these intelligence operatives of the British intelligence services and Russian intelligence services have so much focus on me and are basically doing everything they can to try and trick me. So the British intelligence services do not want me talking about the Crown, and the Russian intelligence services do not want me talking about Putin, basically. So it's all very interesting to consider. Indeed, Putin's boys really do not like me at all, especially since I revealed that Putin's mother was a Sabbatean woman, and therefore Putin is a Donmeh cultist. Indeed, it's interesting to note that a lot of the beams started after my original assessment of Putin being a Donmeh cultist, which happened to take place in the same video where I was exposing the organ and child trafficking trades in devices. So it is possible that much of the psychotronic beaming and radiation is actually emanating from a Russian source. So I believe that both the residents of devices and the Putin regime are utilizing this radiation beam technology on me. So it's very interesting to consider the fact that British intelligence and Russian intelligence are doing everything they can to try and trick me, basically to push me into one or the other's camp. So it's very interesting indeed. The Russian psychosis that I suffer from seems to take over the majority of the time, which means their mind control mechanisms are stronger, or the Russian psychosis emanates from British intelligence sources who are trying to cast me as a Russian. So it's all very interesting. As I've stated before, I do have an interest in Russian culture, though Putin's boys are just macho morons, and I believe they're closet homosexuals as well. I'm interested in the weirdos. I like the weirdos from Russian culture. Indeed, I like various historical and literary Russian figures, and I like the weirdos. I don't like Putin, and I don't like Putin's boys, so they're not of interest to me. Indeed, probably the vast majority of Russian males are of no interest to me as people at all. So, very interesting. The thing, when it comes to Anglo-Saxon culture, I also gravitate towards the weirdos. I'm not interested in the lad culture, and I despise such figures as Tommy Robinson, who I believe is a pet project of the Russian intelligence services in some regard. So it's quite interesting. There are networks of the GRU coordinating Tommy Robinson, which is interesting because the GRU want to control the affairs of the Great British Parliament. So it's all very interesting to note that the GRU will actually defend Device's police against me in this endgame scenario. So it's all very interesting to note that Tommy Robinson does have GRU backers, which is very interesting. Tommy Robinson also has Mossad backers. So the fact that Tommy Robinson has backers in the Mossad and GRU points to Donmeh cult involvement in this case, which is all very interesting indeed. It's all very interesting to consider. Rupert Lowe also has Donmeh cult backing, what with Rupert Lowe being a Sabbatean heritage bloodliner. So it's all very interesting to consider that a lot of this is a vast Donmeh cult interconnecting network. Indeed, do the Donmeh cult run the British Crown? This is the question that one needs to work on. Indeed, even though the Sabbateans were technically set up by British intelligence, there may have been a proto-Sabbatean network controlling British intelligence by this point, which means we are getting to the point here. Seems to be a network above the crown, which I believe is interconnected with the Donmeh cult. So Sabbateans may not actually be operative for the crown. The crown may be operative for the Sabbateans. So we're really getting somewhere now. Indeed. All of these networks seem to interlink back up to Sabbateanism and its forebears, such as Los Alumbrados, who were operative out of Spain in the 1490s and gave birth to the Jesuit order. Now, to the naked eye, all of these networks would seem to interconnect back to the British Crown, but it seems that the British Crown is actually driven by these networks. So we're entering a rather strange little investigation now, and how exactly this all interconnects. Indeed, Nazis, communists, etc., all seem to have had a lot of Sabbatean influence. Although on the surface they would seem to be British Crown networks, it does seem that the Sabbateans had a vast influence within these networks, though the fact that the Sabbateans are quite visible would point to the fact that the Anglo-German cryptography wishes the Sabbateans to be visible, and therefore the population will blame everything on the Hebrews. However, this is the thing. There do seem to be a lot of Sabbateans involved in these conspiracies, both in the public eye and in the private background. So it's all very interesting to consider the role of the Sabbatean Donmeh cultists and how many of the Anglo-German cryptocracy are actually Sabbateans pretending to not be Sabbateans. This is the thing about the Donmeh cult. They're constantly converting into other people's religions and cultures, so you never know who is actually a Sabbatean. Indeed, it is a deeply buried secret that the Low family are Sabbateans, or at least it was until I revealed it. But it's a deeply hidden secret. So there are all these families, especially in Britain, that would seem to be Anglo families that are actually Sabbatean families. And the number could be much higher than you could possibly imagine. And how much influence do these Sabbatean families have over the crown? So this is what we now need to work out. Who is running the crown? Now, my first theory on that would be Sabbateans, which means we're back to my theories that I was positing 6 years ago about the Donmeh cult being at the top of the chain. Indeed, it seems that Turkey, Russia, and Israel are all run by the Donmeh cult, which is itself running the crown. So the crown runs the Vatican, and the Donmeh cult run the crown. This is all getting very, very confusing now. So we're back up to the top level of the scale. Indeed, who are the Donmeh cult exactly? This is the thing, it's going to take some time to really start identifying certain people within the authority networks who are Donmeh cultists. However, I believe I'm covering old ground here because I talked about the Donmeh cult rather a lot before, which has caused me a lot of problems. Indeed, I probably should not be doing this with my face on camera. However, I'm hoping I will be safe. So it's all very, very interesting to consider. So right now, we are operating on the working theory that the Sabbateans run the crown. And how long have they run the crown for? 400 years. So it's all very interesting to note that we're probably starting to step into waters that could see me bopped off by the Mossad, but I'm going to take that risk and work through this theory. Indeed, I don't want to solely focus on the Sabbateans. This is the thing. There are lots of interconnecting networks, but we will continue to work on this investigation. And what with British intelligence and Russian intelligence trying to trick me, it's all very interesting indeed. British intelligence seem to be run by the Asiatic Brethren, which means there are immense Sabbatean networks that interconnect with the British intelligence services that interestingly link back to Turkey, what with the Asiatic in Asiatic Brethren referring to Turkey, which means that these networks interconnect with the ascended masters of Islam and such authority figures as the Aga, i.e., the Aga Khan, Karim al Husseini, I believe it is at the moment. So it's interesting how all these networks interconnect, and then we have a Ismaili assassin link as well, which means that basically these Western secret societies are being run by Islamic ones. And how does this all interconnect with the Donmeh cult? Because they're one of these secret societies also. It's all very strange. And who is running Russian intelligence? Sabbateans interconnect with the Asiatic Brethren that runs British intelligence. So it's all very interesting. So what role does the Anglo-German cryptocracy have in all of this, your Aryan guys? It seems they are subordinate to the Sabbateans. So it's all very interesting. The Aryan guys seem to be subordinate to the Sabbateans. Indeed, it seems we got back up to the top of the pyramid. So anyway, I expect today I'm going to have a struggle. What with British intelligence attempting to coordinate my brain, British intelligence operatives pretending to be Russian intelligence operatives coordinating my brain, and also Russian intelligence operatives attempting to coordinate my brain. So it's all very, very fucking difficult to fucking get through the bloody day. So you'll probably see me in the street talking to myself today, as usual. All right, bye bye.